Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't tuned in before, my name is Leanne and today I'm going to show you a really nice makeup look ready for the party season. Now I've already done my brows using my favourite brow product, so I've got the Precisely My Brow pencil from Benefit in shade 5 and also the Ready Set Brow Clear Brow Gel, which is really good for keeping your brows in place all night long, all day long, and make them weatherproof. So the next thing I need to do now is just carve out underneath my brows using a concealer. So today I'm going to be using the Naked Skin Concealer from Urban Decay, and this is shade Fair Neutral. You do need something that is going to be quite light. And the brush I'm going to be using is the Dandelion Tool 775 brush, which looks like this. So it's a really nice flat brush with a rounded edge, so you can really get up and close underneath your brows. And I've found that this is one of the best brushes to use for doing this. So I'm just going to turn slightly so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to start by dragging this down and below the brow. And the reason you want to carve them out like this is to make them really, really sharp and defined underneath. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to pull this down onto my lid with what is left of the product. Make sure you get right into the inner corner. And bring that outwards onto the temple area as well. Now I'm just going to pat over that to make sure all that is set. We don't want any creasing. And what this will do is this will help the eyeshadows cling to the lid. And if you're using colour, it also helps to make them bolder. So again, make sure all of that is not too tacky. I'm just going to do that on the other side off camera. Now that I've carved out underneath both my brows and applied the concealer to my lids, what I'm going to do next is start putting in the crease colour. So today, for the whole eye look, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette, which is this here. Now, I've had this for a really long time. I really like it. It's one of my go-to palettes, and it's definitely one that I recommend because it's mainly all matte shades, so it's great for building up transition colours, which is what we're going to do next. So the first colour I'm going to use is the colour Faith, which is this one right by here. And I'm taking a fluffy brush. So this is the Dandelion Tool 776 brush. As you can see, it's really, really nice and fluffy. And this is perfect for blending in that transition shade. So I'm just doing circular motions just along the crease, just to deposit the colour. I do apologise if this goes out of focus at all. I am normally wearing glasses, so I do find trying to see exactly what I'm doing can be difficult if I don't hold the mirror quite close. So as you can see, we're just building up that colour. And don't be afraid to pack in quite a lot of colour, because we are blending this outwards and up towards our brow. It will diffuse into the concealer, so you will be able to soften those edges. So what I'm going to do now is just tickle the edges, just to try and build that up a little bit more in the outer corner, and then also blend that upwards towards the brow bone. So once that's complete, it should look like this. And the next thing we're going to do now is just take a deeper colour, and using a domed shadow brush, again by Dandelion Tools, and I'm not going to keep saying Dandelion Tools, all the brushes I'm using today are going to be by them. They're my go-to brushes for all my professional work and my personal use as well. I will list all of them down below. This is the domed eyeshadow brush, and it's number 768, so again I will list that. And the next shade we're going to use now is shade Lockout, which is a slightly deeper brown. And this time what we're going to do is concentrate mainly just in the crease itself and build up that colour. I actually like to start from the outer side. And what I do is just use windscreen wiper motions right in the crease itself. And we're just going to keep building that colour up. Now I really like working with these shadows, but as I am really intensifying this colour, I will get some fallout underneath. This is why I'm doing my eyes first. It means that it's easy then for us to clean it up before we go ahead and finish the rest of our makeup later. Now with this shade, make sure you bring it down right on that outer corner. And what we're going to do now is just go back to that fluffy brush, and we're just going to blend those edges into our other shadow, just to soften those. Go back into that previous shadow, and again just soften those edges of the darker colour using my first transition shade. And always remember to be blending outwards and up towards your brow. Again, go back in with that crease colour, and you just want to keep going back and forth like this just until you get the desired effect. And I've got to say, this brush does make it really, really easy to do this. I have tried a few other types of brushes, but because this is nice and firm and it's quite a stiff brush, it's still quite soft on your skin, but it is nice and firm. So it actually packs the colour on really, really well and quite quickly. There we go. So now it should look something like this. So I'm just going to do the other side and then I'll be back. So the next thing I'm going to do that I've done on this eye here is I've just cut the lid with the previous concealer that we've used and a small 712 brush. I'm going to do the same now on this eye here so you can see what I'm doing. So what I tend to do is I will place a little bit of the concealer just on my lid, and then I will look up, and that will give me a dot as to where I need to cut it. So just going to cut the crease now. And we're actually going to do a full cut crease. So we're just going to bring that back now down to the inner corner. Just take a little bit more concealer. And this brush is really good because it's nice and fine, and again it's rounded, so with that it gives you a good shape for getting a curved line. And with this bit, I really advise just not rushing and being as precise as you can. So I tend to just take a little bit of concealer at a time and just make sure that I'm happy with where it's going. And I'm just going to blend that now into the outer corner. And just make sure that all that is dried down. You don't want it to be too tacky. Okay, so once you're happy with your cut crease, what I've done next is I've taken a small shadow brush, and this is a 772 brush, and I've taken shade Nude from the palette, and I'm just going to press that in to the concealer. And you can use this technique for any different colours. I'm just doing it with these neutral tones because I think it goes with everything. and dropped it. I actually don't know where that went, so I'm just going to have to pick up another brush. Oh my goodness, I'm so bad. I drop everything. So I've just switched over to a big brush just because I can't see where the other one landed. Okay, so now that I've patted that on, what you'll notice is you can see all the darker transition colour, and then you've got that lighter colour then right on the lid. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I just want to define where we cut the crease. So I'm going to go back in with the darkest shade just on a really small brush, and I'm just going to go just very, very slightly above. Just to add in a little bit more definition where we've lost it. You can see the difference. Just redefines that part of the makeup. Just helps it to stand out that little bit more. Okay, so now I've done that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tape off the outer corner here. Now, I find this is the easiest way to do eyeliner, especially if you're a beginner or you just need to do it quite quickly, or perhaps you don't have the steadiest of hands like myself. I can apply eyeliner brilliantly to my clients, but when it comes to doing it on myself, because I struggle to see when I close one eye and then the other one, because as I said in the beginning I normally wear glasses, I find that makeup tape like this one here, this was just a pound in Primark, is really, really good. So I've cut a few pieces, and what I'm going to do is where I put it, it'll determine the angle of the wing that I'm going to be doing. I don't really want a huge wing for this makeup. I only really want a little one, so I'm going to angle this upwards in the outer corner. Make sure as well, if you're older like myself, that you don't pull the skin too tight, because when you take it off it'll just crinkle all your work up. You want to make sure though that you haven't wrinkled your skin up underneath, so make sure it's nice and smooth like this here, and just do the same now on the other side. So it's a tricky bit trying to get them to match up. So once you're happy with where you've positioned your tape like so, what I'm going to do now is just use my eyeliner. So today I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper. This is a new one for me. I've only been using this for about a month, but I really like it. I wish I tried it a lot sooner. And let's put this on now. So I like the pen liners, but you can also use whatever type of liner that you want. So what I do is I start in the middle and work my way outwards. And because you've got the tape there, you can go right up to the tape. And then I'm going to go back on myself now, so wherever you want your wing to end and just draw back and fill in any gaps. Like that. And now I'm going to go and do the inner corner. I like to do this with my eye open because I find I can see exactly where it's going and how far I'm bringing that in. It's up to you how thick or how thin you want to make up your liner, but for this particular look I do want it to be quite thick, mainly because the eyelashes that I'm going to be using are quite big. So I'm just going to bring that up just a little bit more. And I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So I was going to do this side off camera, but I figured I'll give you a slightly different angle for when I'm doing this. So just so you can see. So starting from in the middle of my lid, going all the way to the tape, and then coming back onto the lid, like so. And now I'm going to go on the inner corner. I'm going to look into my mirror and just draw that line. So, as I said before, this bit I always find really tricky because the angle as well doesn't always help, and the fact that, again, my eyesight is not brilliant. Let me know in the comments if you'd like a full tutorial on different ways to do your eyeliner and different types of liner. For example, if you've got hooded eyes and you want to learn how to do your eyeliner and things like that, just let me know and I'll try and put a tutorial together. So I'm just going to make this now as close to matching the other side as I possibly can. I can already tell I expect I'm going to end up having to adjust it later. When I take the tape off anyway, but nobody's perfect. There we go. So it looks just about right to me. It's hard to tell at the moment until I take the tape off. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to remove the tape and I'm going to curl my lashes. And then if we need to adjust anything, I will do. There we go. That's one bit of tape off. Let's do the next one. There's the other one. actually it's not too bad. One's just slightly more of an up angle than the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tidy up that line a little bit and make that just a little bit longer. Very, very carefully. Just flatten that angle off slightly. If you do make a mistake, don't worry, because you can also tidy up with concealer. There we go. Obviously I said I only wanted little wings and now I've got huge ones, but that's fine. We can still work with that. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a wipe and wipe away any fallout from underneath my eyes. And then we're going to start doing the underneath of our eyes. You can also use the wipe then as well, just to tidy up the concealer a little bit too. So the next thing I'm going to do, as I said, curl my lashes. I don't want to forget. And this is just a really cheap eyelash curler. I can't remember where I got it from. I've had it ages. And the next thing now is I'm going to apply a little bit of concealer just underneath my eyes. Now I only tend to use a little bit, because if I find that if I use a lot I crease up really badly. So this is just the same concealer as before. This is my go-to shade. And what I'm going to do now is just take a flat kabuki brush. Again, this is Dandelion tool, so it's 953 brush. I'm just going to pat that underneath my eye. Again, just work that up into the sides. And the reason I find I don't need to use a lot of concealer is because with this type of look in particular, there is quite a bit of shadow underneath. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a small smudge brush, and using the shade Lockout, I'm just going to smudge that underneath my eyes. And this is the smudge brush here, and it's number 758. And again, this is a really nice firm brush. Now I've got a little trick that I like to use to make this really quick and easy to do, so I will show you now. So all I do is I take the brush and I close my eyes, I place it right on my lower lash line, hold it as close as possible without poking myself in the eye, and I just wiggle it. And I just draw it from one side to another, and there you go, it's done. Make sure that's blended up towards the eyeliner. and then we'll do exactly the same on the other side. Now what I'm going to do is just take the same fluffy brush as we used before, and with the shade Faith, I'm just going to go underneath and just blend that line. And same on the other side. Oh, please excuse me, my belly is now rumbling because I'm hungry. I was up so early this morning. I did have breakfast, but it sounds like I need more. Okay, so now that I've done that, what I'll do is I will do my eyeliner. So for my liner on my bottom lash line and in my waterline, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Lasting Drama liner in black, and I'm going to take the little brush that it came with, if I can find it. It's in one of my brush pots. There we go, I found it here. So this is the brush that it comes with. You've got a sponge applicator on one side and then a very, very small brush on the other. So I'm just going to take this one, put a little bit on my brush, and I'm just going to line my waterline. Now I like to pull down slightly just so that I can expose more area. You want to make sure you get right into the inner corner as well. And now what I'm going to do is just bring this down onto the lashes very, very slightly. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, my belly's rumbling like crazy. Food after this. So going back to that small smudge brush and the shade Lockout again, I'm just going to blend the edges of that concealer. I'm sorry, not concealer, but eyeliner. See, I'm hungry now, so my brain isn't working. What's your favourite food? Let me know in the comments. Oh my goodness, my belly is so bad right now. It needs food, it needs feeding. Okay, so I'm just going to do that on the other side now. Right, okay, so I've now done that on that side as well, and the next thing I'm going to do is put on my lashes. So today I'm going to be using the Eyelure Exaggerate number 140. And these are really nice big dramatic lashes, so I've just popped some glue on those. What I'm going to do as well, whilst I'm waiting for the glue to go a bit tackier, I'm just going to put some mascara on my bottom lashes and my top lashes, and I'm going to use the Rimmel 100% waterproof mascara. This has been my favourite mascara for over 5 years. It's fantastic. I've got one in my kit that I use for clients, and then this is my own one. Normally I carry like a couple of different mascaras, but this one at the moment is my go-to. So I'm just going to apply that to my bottom lashes. And I do like quite a lot of mascara on my bottom lashes because I like them to look really full. And obviously this time of year with the wet weather is really nice to have a good waterproof mascara. So I'm just going to do the same now with the top lashes. I like how this makes mine look really long. Also doesn't clump my lashes together either. The brush is really nice. Okay, so my lashes are ready now, so I'm just going to pop those on. If you find that they are a bit long for you, you can trim them. I do have quite wide eyes anyway, so I do find I very rarely have to trim the Eyelure lashes. Okay, it's just going to give those a squeeze. Make sure they're all nice and secure. I'm just going to pop on the next one. And I do find that having a really nice set of lashes makes such a huge difference to your makeup look. So it's definitely worth trying them if you've never tried them before. And you can get lots of different styles as well, different sizes. These like wispy ones are really nice as well, but for this particular look I thought a nice dramatic lash would be better. So I'm just going to take my mascara again now and just blend in my natural lashes a bit more into my false ones. This just helps to comb them in so that they're nice and seamless. So the next I'm going to do now is just the rest of my face. So first of all, I'm going to just give my face a quick spray with some Fix Plus, just to give it a little bit of moisture. And the foundation I'm going to use today is a little bit dark for me, mainly because I want to be sort of tanning now the party season's coming along. So this is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in shade NC20, which is this here. You'd be surprised how pale I actually am in foundation, which is why I really want to start looking at different tans and things like that to find my best one. Now I'm going to be taking a flat top kabuki brush again, just to get this blended into my skin. So this is the same brush that I used for the concealer earlier. It's one of my favourites. So to start with, I'm literally just going to dot the foundation all over my face. And I'm just going to start to blend. And just using patting motions to start with. Make sure that if, like me, you're using a dark foundation on your skin tone, that you blend it up into your ear and down your neck as well. That way then you won't get any harsh lines. And I've got to say, since I started using this brush to apply my foundation, I found that it's lasting a lot longer. It looks so much smoother in person and on camera as well. It doesn't look cakey because this is a full coverage foundation. And again, the Studio Fix Fluid is one of my favourites. I use it in my kit all the time for my clients. It lasts for ages, and when it's on, it's such a nice finish. And if you do go between a full coverage and a medium to light coverage foundation, what I'd recommend doing is just getting yourself this one and then just mixing in a tiny bit of moisturiser when you want a more sheer coverage. That way then you don't need to be buying loads of different types of foundations. So I'm just pulling that through above my brows. Again, just blending that into my hairline. Again, making sure that I blend that down my neck and up into my ear. Now, personally, I don't use a lot of different powders like to set areas of my face because I find that I don't really need it. My skin is more on the dry side, so I find that if I powder, it clings to my skin a lot and you can see too much texture. But if you have oilier skin, obviously go ahead and do your powder at this stage. Because I'm using powders for my contour, my highlight and my blush, I find that helps to set the foundation in place anyway. I am going to put a little bit of powder underneath my eyes, but before I do that I just want to pop on just another tiny bit of concealer, and literally a really tiny bit, just to add a little bit more lightness underneath. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of powder on now, just underneath my eyes. So I'm just going to take a nice fluffy brush and just pat that on. This is just a fluffy eyeshadow brush from one of my Urban Decay palettes. And I'm literally just patting that very, very lightly on. It's hardly anything. I find if I do it this way, I don't get the cakiness underneath. I don't get any of the creasing. And because my skin is more mature now, it's not as smooth underneath my eyes. So I find doing it this way, I don't get that build up of product. So I'm just going to do the same now, just around the sides of my nose. And just on my smile lines. And that's plenty. So the next thing now is just going to be to do my contour. So for that, I'm going to be using the Benefit Hoola. This is the mini one. The minis by Benefit are super cute. They're great for travelling. They're really good for popping in your kit and stuff like that, because they're nice and small as well. You can fit more in your makeup bag that way then. So I'm just going to take a fluffy brush. So I'm using this one here, and this is the 965 brush, and I'm just going to dip that into my bronzer, just tap off the excess, and I'm just going to do a very light contour now. I'm pretty sure I'm falling apart at the moment because, like, first my stomach was rumbling, annoying everybody I'm sure, and now my nose is like really sniffly. Just do the same on the other side. Again, blend that upwards into your hairline. And I found that this is by far the best bronzer I've ever used. It's absolutely amazing. if you are really fair and tend to stick to fairer foundations, they also do a Hoola light as well, which is so nice. But as I do like to warm my skin up a little bit more, I do find that the original Hoola shade suits me really well. So just build that up gradually. And now what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of this just around my hairline. See, my face shape is quite an oval shape, so the way that I contour might be slightly different to you, but you can sort of Google and it will show you the best ways to contour for your face shape if it's different to mine. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this now just along my jawline. And just do the same on the other side. And now with a smaller brush, I'm just going to put a little bit of this just down the side of my nose. And then I will buff this in. So taking the foundation brush that we used, I'm just going to buff that very lightly. And this will just help to blend that in seamlessly. Just like so. You can already see the difference. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on and I'm going to do some highlighting. So for that I'm going to be using the Dandelion Twinkle by Benefit, again one of their minis. And this is really super cute. I'm actually going to use the brush that it came with, which is this little brush here. It's really nice, really soft. I'm just going to apply that to the very tops of my cheekbones. And just blend that upwards slightly, just around the edges of my temples. I also like to put a little bit of this just along the top of my brows. I think it just adds that really nice shimmer. Again, now this as well, just on the bridge of my nose. This just adds a nice shimmer there as well. Most of the time, if it's daytime, I would leave that off, but as we are doing more of an evening glam look, I do like to do that. Just a tiny bit on the tip of my nose and then on my cupid's bow. Like so. Next I'm going to be doing my blusher, and again it's another one of my favourites. So this is the Rocketeer Blusher from Benefit, and I'm just going to take a really nice fluffy brush. It is quite a big brush, and I just like to swirl that around. Pick up lots of product, and so give that a bit of a tap and then apply it to my cheeks. I really like doing it with a big brush like this because I find that it diffuses it really nicely, and then I don't get like a really big harsh blob of it. Diffuses that right into the rest of my product that's on my cheeks, and it just gives a really nice flushed look. Now for lips, because our eyes are really nice and nude, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a really nice red lip today. It's not a colour that I wear very often, I must say, but as it's nearly Christmas, not long to go, I'm so excited. Mainly because this year I'm going to be starting to learn to drive, so yeah, watch out. I shall be travelling around the country with my makeup very soon. So the colour that I'm going to use today, I'm going to do two different colours. I'm going to do the 714 and Easy. Oh my god, the state on this mirror, I'm so sorry. This is by Urban Decay, and it's the lipstick palette. The Lipstick is My Vice palette. I've had this quite some time as well. It's well loved, well used, and I love lipstick palettes because I think you get so much for your money in a palette, and it's a great way to try different shades as well, especially if you don't usually sort of use these types of shades, because it helps you to sort of experiment a little bit more. So I'm just looking for a lip brush. Where is it? Right, I've got quite a lot of brushes in my bag, so I just got to dig through. And my Kitco bags are really good as well because you can fit loads in those. I love using them for my kit. So there we are. I've got my brush here. So this is just another Dandelion Tools brush. It's the 542 lip brush. And I'm just going to go into shade 714, which is the deeper red shade. Just going to get a nice lot of that on my brush. And I'm just going to pop that on my lips. And applying red lipstick is definitely scary, especially if you've got wonky lips like I have. I'm just really glad that my twitches aren't so bad at the moment, and I'm able to do this, because there's no way I'd be applying lipstick like this if they were like really flared up today. I'm just going to do the same now on the top. You can also use a lip liner if you want to, first of all. So I'm just going to tidy this up a bit. There we go, and now I'm going to use the other shade that's in there called Easy, which is a bit more of a glossier red colour. I have just wiped the brush, so I'm just going to apply this over the top. Just keep it more towards the centre. Oh my goodness, my stomach is rumbling like crazy. I'm just very lightly going around the edges just to tidy up and just overdraw slightly. And I tend to just like to overdraw them just to get them as close to matching on both sides as possible. If, like me, you have messed up a little bit, don't worry, just take a small brush and just wet it, and then you can clean up the edges. And there we go, that's it, that's the look all finished. So all that's left to do now is just give it another spray with some Fix Plus, and then this will lock it in all night and it'll be on till morning. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you like this tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer those. If you want me, sorry, I broke it, oh no, I'll fix that later. If you want me to keep doing these kinds of tutorials, then just let me know. I'm happy to keep doing them if you're happy to keep watching them. Yeah, I think I just want to make this a little bit bigger. That's better. Overdrawing your lips, you just keep going. Anyway, thank you so much for watching again. Really hope you like this look. I will put pictures of this look on my Instagram and on my Twitter and on my Facebook. If you have any questions, as I said, just let me know in the comments and I'll leave all the links down below in the description bar of everything that I used today. So thanks, yeah, bye.